Tulsa. People making a difference in the Tulsa community. Special guest interviews spotlighting local businesses to covering important issues within the community no one else is talking about. The hot topics and more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is World One Development's News You Can Use with your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper and Ms. Damali Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use. We want to thank everyone for either listening on the radio, watching us on Facebook Live, and on www.KBOB899.com, or tuning into any of the News You Can Use media networks, which are powered by World One Development. We really appreciate that. I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Damali Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, October 16th, 2024. And we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Network, powered by World One Development. We are set for an exciting show, you guys. You better call your mama and them and tell them you can dial in at 918-856-3873 or post your comments on our Facebook Live feed at World One Development.
So on today's show, we're going to give our response to the North Tulsa Mayoral Forum 2024, which was sponsored by the North Tulsa Pastors Coalition and hosted at the historic Vernon AME Church on Tuesday.
Yep. Also, does the community still goes as the black church goes in 2024? Let's talk about it.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topics, which are Georgia breaks early voting record, and Trump's mental acuity is questioned. Find out why, and Hurricane Milton update, birthdays, and more.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Network, powered by World One Development. We got a loaded show today, you guys. Y'all better get ready to put it on your seatbelt. We'll be right back, you guys.
The 36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046.
Fitting Back In is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Network, powered by World One Development.
And we are back. So News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood, and we felt the community needed to hear about those things, one, so we can support, and two, so we can be informed.
What's going on, family? I'm Charles Harper, Chief Executive Officer of World One Development, which includes Fitting Back In, EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and my job, because the world wants to know, is to provide leadership for all aspects of World One Development with the emphasis on long-term goals, growth, profits, and a return on that investment. And I'm so excited and I am so elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
And I'm Damali Wilson, Chief Operating Officer for World One Development. And my job is designing and implementing business operations and establishing policies that promote company culture and vision. I am also in charge of social media for all of the World One Development entities. If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, please inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk. I am also happy and elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
Damali, it's Hump Day. What's up?
It is hump day, and it's a cool day. So,
I know.
I'm excited about that. You know why?
Why?
Leather and boots.
The leather is in?
The leather and the boots come out. Yes.
You
Love
was
it.
waiting for that, huh?
Waiting. Yes.
Man, it's so crazy how it was so hot the last couple of days and how the temperature can just drastically drop like that.
And then guess what? Tomorrow it's going to be back hot again.
I know.
So I get one day to, shine. Then the next day I go back to regular.
So what that means is out here in these streets, people wearing everything.
Man, you don't know.
Some people I see people out there frozen in time. They're on a tennis court froze.
Right.
This
Because
morning.
they didn't get it. They didn't get the memo.
Man.
Yeah.
You got to put on something. But I tell you, it can deceive you as well because it's bright. The blue skies, the sun is shining. So the appearance is it's extremely warm. It's really, if you warm natured like I am, it's really not too bad. So it's probably now about 60. But this morning I heard it was like in the upper 30s.
I wasn't outside.
Man, that's cold right there.
Yeah, see, that's too cold.
Yeah, it was 37.
It was 37. 37 is that's a bite right there.
Yeah.
Normally at 37, but it's fall.
Yeah.
So.
But I think it's been unreasonably hot. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of weird, because usually at fairs, when the fair comes, it's usually cool and you kind of start getting into.
Right.
But it was hot for the fair.
For the fair, I know. So typically, I've been in Oklahoma, for about 30 years. Been in Tulsa for about 25. In my mind, I'll be waiting on October 1st.
I know, right?
For some reason, when I used to be here, it's like it'd be doing good, become October 1st. It seemed like the temperature go ahead and drop when we get into that real fall weather. But right now, summertime saying I ain't gone yet.
Exactly.
It keep bouncing
Don't count
back.
me out.
I don't have no problem. Hopefully we can settle in about 70, 75.
Right.
No rain.
Good, yeah.
I mean, because it's football season.
Oh, yeah.
People want to get outside. People out here tailgating and all of that. So how y'all doing on this hump day? How y'all doing in y'all city? I'm going to come to the live in a little bit. We got a loaded show. For you locals, you definitely want to hear about this mayoral forum thing they had. And the pastor showed up and they showed out.
Right.
The community showed up, and shout out to the Divine Nine.
Yeah.
Y'all get in here today. So we got a loaded show, but I know we want to unpack a couple things before we get into that. Damali, what did you do this weekend, though?
Man, so this weekend, I'm like, listen, y'all. Somebody tried to steal our AC units.
Over the weekend?
Over at our Youth and Family Fun Center.
Man.
And so it was a little battle,
Right.
because they kept coming back, and we kept getting up there with the alarm company and the
they
HVAC
came back
company.
again?
They came back three
again.
times.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
They wasn't going to let it go. They thought they had a mine, a gold mine, that they was coming back to just get all the copper.
That's called determination.
Determination, but
Determined to go to prison.
we wore them down.
Yeah.
So they ain't
Don't
came
say
back
that.
yet.
They probably listening in. It
Knock
might be a
on
secret
wood.
listener watching
Right.
us on the road. Look, I'm talking about we back. But anyway, this is the part that Damali and I was talking about because we was up at now for me. Shout out to the University of Arkansas at Monticello down there. The Boll Weevils.
The bowl.
You already know about the Boll Weevils. I was down there. Phi Beta Sigma and everybody else. We was turned up for homecoming, but I had to go. I was on the phone with Damali back and forth and looking at the cameras to 3 a.m.
Yeah, we had
Dealing
to
with these
install the
people.
cameras because people just won't leave stuff alone.
Now, let me tell you something. Prayers for other people because churches, I've known people that spent $100,000, $75,000, and over six figures trying to get their AC units back. We have not had to endure that.
Thank God.
But it's been a fight. It's like
been a
12
struggle.
rounds. So let me
It's
tell
been
y'all
a
something in
struggle,
our
I'm telling
community.
you.
For small businesses, let's look out for each other. I'm not going to say who, what, when, because I don't know y'all. We just need it to stop.
Yeah, we absolutely do because it makes it really tough. What people don't realize is when you are a not-for-profit organization, we don't get money for operations, right? We get money to fund programs.
Exactly.
So it helps our children and it helps the families that we serve. So we can't repurpose that money to replace AC units that have been stolen and vandalized, because somebody just thought it was a great idea or thought that they needed $40 more than they need. You know what? At EduRec, you can come and ask for some help.
Come ask us. Come pull up. We will
got
help
food.
you out.
We got, we've got resources that we can tap you into.
I think that's so much better than just breaking their legs.
Right.
Man, why can't you just come up to the door? I think we look friendly and say, hey,
I need
can
some
I
help.
hold 40? Can I
Yes.
hold? Hey, you remember, did you see that? It was like Caesar. He got in that dude's ear and said, let me borrow $20 to the mile. Now, that's when you know you're not going to get it back. When somebody said, let me hold $20 to the bar, you probably not going to get that. But nevertheless, World One Development news you can use in all of our entities. We are for the community. You can
Yes.
always ask us if you need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And we are definitely going to help you if we can.
Yes. So because of that, we sustained. Now that we got hit a little bit.
Right.
It wasn't as bad as it could have been because we got 29 units on top of the roof, and fortunately, only about 5 of them.
You know how you get into a fight?
Yeah.
So we got hit with a sucker punch, but we recovered.
Yeah.
But we didn't get hit with the uppercut that take you out
Right.
that you don't see, but a little overhand right.
Right.
Like, but we came back, so we
came back.
countering now. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, for me over this weekend, man, I traveled down to Arkansas, like I said, University of Arkansas at Monticello, man. It was homecoming. Had a good time. Shout out to my frat brothers, man. We was eating. We was playing music. We was stepping a little bit and just having a good time, man. It's always good
I
to
saw
go.
them big old pots that they was cooking in.
Boy, shout out to
Yes,
Corey, man.
Yes, I saw that.
Corey came out of Louisiana, man. He had JB
Good
Smooth,
God.
2 ginormous pots, and he
Yes.
had turkey necks and all kind of other meat in there. He did the potatoes with the sausage, with the corn. He put cabbage in there. He put celery in there. He put
And JB, they didn't even invite us. We were
JB.
not even invited to come down. We could have
Mr.
came and hung.
Energizer.
We didn't go to school down there, but we
Mr.
could have came and hung out.
Mr. Energizer is my witness. He's on down in the J-Bone Lounge. We're going to try to bring the NYCU team in next year.
Okay.
So we're going to let JB and AJ do the DJ thing.
Okay.
Maybe you and Rue and April, some of y'all, Angie, can host a mess around Corey D. Will. But either way it go, we're going to be pulling up at UAM next
I'm
year.
going to be hanging out where the food is.
And I am too. Had a mic. Where's the mic over by the food?
Right.
But shout out to my bros, man. Everybody got back home safe and sound, and we just going to try to keep it going. But I'm back. I'm Black on Wall Street, and I'm ready for the show.
So I got to ask y'all a couple of questions, all right? What happened to OU this weekend?
JB, what happened?
Look at her, man. I ain't got nothing to say about no football at all.
Well, I was getting to, what is your favorite thing?
How about them Cowboys?
How about them? What happened?
You know what? It's bad, y'all, right now, y'all. For the Cowboys fans, look, JB is a Cowboy fan. I've been going for the Cowboys, but right now, I got to rethink a lot of things in life. Because I'm
a Sooner and a Cowboy fan, so I'm double trouble.
Oh, my God.
See, look,
You had a bad weekend.
I'm an Arkansas Razorback fan.
Right.
It's a difference.
Yeah.
Sooners, I support. OSU, I support T. I'm in Oklahoma.
Because you live in Oklahoma.
I'm not
I got
going to
it.
be in your city asking y'all to show me some love and then be hating on your team.
Right.
I just think that would be so disrespectful.
Right.
But sound like OU, man, Texas went down there and treated them.
Uncle Brian
bad.
said, hey, family, how about them Cowboys? Jerry lost his mind yesterday. Way too funny.
Happy birthday, Jerry. On his birthday, how disrespectful is that, JB? On Jerry Jones' birthday.
Talk about a thrashing. That was just an old school
Michael
butt
Brewer,
whooping.
Michael
Look at
Brewer
Brewer.
said, how about them bums?
Now we bums.
Look, no.
Okay, we ain't never called the Eagles bums.
Look, now, out of 2,000 people on the live, Michael Brewer was sitting on the live since last night.
Wait.
He couldn't wait. He was on. I tried to get him off the live, but there's no way I could delete him. But he on here. He been sitting on here all day, and I'm like, look at that sucker sitting there looking at me on all the cameras.
Oh, funny.
But anyway,
Too funny.
You know what,
The
Jay?
Eagles probably like 1-4 this year already.
Yeah, they're not doing great either. But I'll just say, before us with the Cowboys, look, man,
Michael said, why come you ain't texting back this morning?
I tried. I didn't text nobody. Shout out to everybody getting on. I didn't text nobody because I knew they was going to say, Charles, how about them Cowboys? So I just wasn't even going to endure that trauma.
That's just disrespectful to be. I mean, at this
disrespectful.
point, y'all got trash.
Trash. You know what? Here's the
Trash.
ticket. Here's the ticket, JB Smooth. You making too much money, bro.
Too much.
Dak, you making too much money. CD came out of OU. CD, you making too much money.
Too much
Right,
money.
right.
You can't get paid the big bucks and then show up like a bucket. I didn't even know how to rhyme that. Man, that was like a high school team out there with some grown men. They had old
Detroit,
linemen.
bro. Detroit.
And Detroit,
Come on.
out of
man.
all people, Detroit.
49 to like 10. 49 to 9. or
9. It was 9. I watched the game.
And they got their foot out. They got old linemen scoring, flipping in the end zone.
Now, I would say we do got a lot of people injured right
That's
now.
excuses.
But there's no
There's
excuse
no
for getting
excuse in
beat
the
like that
professional.
as a Cowboy.
He said we're professionals.
When you look, everybody out there is getting paid money, and everybody's professional. It's called next man up. JB,
Right.
You played sports. It's all next man up. Everybody getting paid. These are the best of the best.
Right.
But
Man.
they win. They didn't pull up. I got to get off that. Look,
Yeah,
look.
let's get
Let
on
me do
that.
some quick shout outs.
Okay.
Unique, she was on as well. Welcome to
Hey,
the show.
Unique, how are you?
Michael, Deborah Briscoe, welcome to the show.
Hey, Deborah.
James
Hey, Michael.
Lee, Elva Stewart,
James.
my frat boy. We kicked
Hi,
it all
Elvis.
weekend down there
One more
in
question,
Little Rock.
Charles. Do you still believe?
In Colorado?
Yeah.
And Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I believe in
Okay.
them.
Okay,
Those
I'm just
Cowboys. My belief is wavering. I got to go back to the Dallas Cowboy altar. My belief, the kids was crying. I'm like, I don't even care about the kids. The kids crying, grandma crying, Paw crying. Jerry birthday, he might not have many more birthdays because Jerry is up there.
Yeah.
Uncle Brian wanted to kick y'all a stat. He said the Cowboys are 0-4 over their last 4 home games.
Cut it out.
Man, that's bad.
Because I believe we was like 12-0 before we went 0-4.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's even worse than that. This week we got San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, my God.
So Pastor Jamal Dyers, he already got
Oh, my God.
He can't wait.
Cannot
And
wait.
we sitting there like some sitting ducks. It don't even matter. You got the highest paid quarterback in history.
Michael Brewer said y'all should have paid the kicker instead of Dak.
You should have paid anybody. You could have played me. Let me tell you, JB Smooth, I can play a little bit of football. You give me 260.
Yeah, man. I got bad knees and I can play better than that.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm getting off. You know what? Here's the ticket. Any given Sunday, JB Smooth. Because this time next week, we'll probably be bragging about how the Cowboys won and somebody that was supposed to win lost.
Well,
if we beat San Francisco, JB.
There's a possibility that they bounce back and beat San Francisco, but
if they do we gonna see.
We got a lot of work to do with the Cowboys in order to make it to the playoffs.
Let's get the show started, man. We could be on this all day, man. So for Cowboy Nation, prayers go out to you.
Right.
You want to get to the Black History Trivia?
Black History Trivia.
On the better note.
What kind of cowboy does it take to win a football game?
Man, where Emmitt Smith?
That's the Black History question.
Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson, not Jerry Jones.
Black History, Damali.
Right. Black History. Here we go. Who was the first African American elected to the U.S. Senate? Was it A, Barack Obama? Was it B, Edward Brooke? Was it C, Robert Weaver? Or was it D, Blanche Bruce?
I'm going to go with Barack Obama.
Okay.
I'm just guessing, but
yeah,
I'm going with Barack.
Okay.
Man, Damali, I'm you know what I don't know? I go with C, and I really don't know. So Robert C. Weaver, he just sound like a senator. I know it wasn't Barack because that's so new. And then I can't even say D, Blanche Bruce, Edward Brooke. It got to be Robert C. Weaver.
Okay, so we got JB.
What y'all got?
I'm gonna go with Barack. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Read it one more time. What y'all think on the live? Y'all can't be out there Googling and then act like y'all smart.
First African American U.S. Senator.
Who was the first African American elected to the U.S. Senate? Was it A, Barack Obama, B, Edward Brooke, C, Robert C. Weaver, or D, Blanche Bruce?
I think people Googling JB Smooth. Because the answers coming
up. Taking too long?
AJ said C with me. I'm feeling better.
Okay, who else got
better?
something?
What else y'all got?
Everybody being slow. They trying to Google or something.
They gonna try to Google.
We don't know what they doing.
We want to take a break and give them a chance to put their little answers in.
We can.
We'll take a quick break because we're going deeper. We want y'all to get your pen and pad out because we finna give our reaction.
Michael Brewer said E for the Eagles.
E.
No, he said D. Stop it, JB.
I looked at D for a second, but I didn't go with it. But we're gonna take a break,
Uncle
man.
Brian said B.
Y'all keep bringing them in. We're going to take a quick break, man. It was a huge mayoral. What you think about it? You went? You participated?
I did.
Man, the Divine Nine showed up. The community showed up. The pastor showed up. It was at Vernon.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vernon.
I heard that was big.
We're going to get into it next. KBOB 89.9 FM. Uncle Bobby was there, too. World One Development. News you can use. Charles and Damali. Who won the debate? We'll be back, y'all.
The Juice Radio Show and KBOB 89.9 would like to say thank you to all of our listeners and sponsors who donate to help keep our media program alive. Reaching the community, the Juice Radio Network continues to expand as influencers in the community of North Tulsa and beyond, but can't do that without your help. That's why it's important that we as a community continue to support the Juice Radio Show and keep 89.9 on the air. The community not only deserves this service, but needs this service. Let's continue to support the mission and giving a voice to the voiceless and donate to the Juice Radio Show. The Juice Radio Show is a nonprofit 501c3 powered by KBOB 89.9 and Eden Media Services, operating solely off the gifts, donations, and contributions made by listeners like yourself. All donations made to the Juice Radio Show are tax deductible and can be sent to 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74106.
It's Tulsa, Tulsa. I see you here in Tulsa. I'm in Tulsa chilling.
We appreciate your continued support and thanks for listening to KBOB 89.9 FM.
are back.
We are back. So we talked about our weekend just a little bit, and want to give a shout out to L.C. Walker. We also celebrated his birthday, so JB actually was DJ for him. And JB, you participated in the Domino's game. Did you win?
Man,
Nope.
look, I had to handle some other business that was carried. It was name that song. It was finish the lyrics. Man, with so much going on.
It
LC
was.
had a star-studded birthday bash.
Yeah, it was
Sang
fun.
the Who's Who. Even Billy Esther showed up.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
he
That
did.
was, Billy Esther show up to your birthday party is a good deal.
Damali,
Anyway,
I want to know who won the Domino
I know,
Championship.
I was getting to that.
No, I want to get to that first.
What
And then
happened
tell me
was-
something. I don't
what
wanna hear
happened?
I
Who
sat down at the domino table, and then I had to get up.
Uh-oh.
And so I do remember James Ziegler competing, Kevin Keys competing, Pastor Harbin competing, Pastor Cooper got in the game.
He was in the
Bishop
game?
was at the game.
I believe so.
What?
I believe he played one round,
I
and then
missed
he got up to go watch the OU game, and he was in his office upset.
He could have kept playing. He should have kept playing dominoes.
And young man Terrell
Terrell Demery. Yeah.
who actually came out to be the winner of the Domino Championship
What?
Congratulations,
at LC's
Terrell.
70th birthday bash.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Terrell can play bones like
I
that?
guess he can.
Terrell ran through everybody.
Ran through.
Oh,
Man,
Bishop.
Oh,
Bishop.
okay.
Bishop, Kevin Keys. Who else? I'm giving all y'all a call. I thought I seen Brother Sanders wasn't there.
He was there, but I
He
didn't see him at
played.
the table.
I
Did
know he
play?
he ran from
He
the
was there,
table.
but he didn't play.
I thought
Yeah,
I seen
I
somebody
didn't-
running.
yeah.
It was him. I'm gonna call him too.
He said it was him.
Man, Terrell wore y'all all out. Man.
Terrell,
He got the
Terrell
belt.
won the championship trophy and $50 cash.
So Terrell, I'm looking for you, man. LC,
Uh-oh.
good job. But Terrell, I'm gonna find you. You the armor bearer for Bishop Melvin Cooper, and you play them bones like that. He probably got. You know what too? Because Terrell is swole too.
Yeah, he
So I don't know if nobody got scared.
They
He
was
just got the
nervous.
domino went down, and the way he slammed that bone
Right,
down
it's like,
made
okay, you
me
won.
nervous. But I ain't gonna be nervous. We'll do us a little showdown, man.
We got the
Congratulations.
trash talking going on.
I ain't talking no trash. I'm just letting facts be facts. Welcome to the show, Maestro Sigalo. It's good to see you this weekend. Jeremiah Blackwell tuning in from
he
Mississippi.
says D. I got you down, Jeremiah.
Yeah,
All right. So this weekend, well, as you guys know, and we've been talking about this for the past several months, to be honest, about the mayoral race.
Yes.
That's taking place right now. We're down to two candidates. They're doing a runoff election that's going to take place on the same day that we're voting for president.
Right.
And so we have two candidates. State Representative Monroe Nichols
Right.
is one, and County Commissioner Karen Keith is the other individual who is running for, or the other candidate running for mayor. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more in the second half, but the Black Church has been instrumental in making sure that politics includes the Black community.
Right.
And
right.
so this is an example of that. This past weekend, or I'm sorry, on
Monday.
Monday? I keep saying Tuesday. I don't know. I lost the day. But anyway, on Monday, there was a mayoral forum that took place at the historic Vernon AME Church.
Shout out to Pastor Mays.
Yes,
Shout out to the team, because all churches now open up their doors to
Right.
allow the people to come in
exactly.
to discuss something that's very important.
Absolutely. So this was sponsored by the North Tulsa Pastors Coalition, which is a group of faith leaders committed to fostering civic engagement, social justice, and community leadership in the North Tulsa area. Through events like the Mayoral Candidate Forum, the coalition seeks to uplift the voices of the community members and ensure that their concerns are addressed by city leaders. So that's really what the forum was all about. It was not a debate, and as Pastor, I believe it was Pastor Mays that got up and said, no, we're not debating, because this is the mayoral seat is something that affects everybody. So it's not a debate about who's doing wrong, who's doing right. We want to talk about the issues and what
I like
each
that.
candidate plans to do.
That makes it a totally different forum, because
Exactly.
the same old going back and forth throwing mud now there. But I do want to shout out Pastor Jamal Dyer, Sean Jarrett. Who was that? It was
Brandon Sims. He's
Brandon
over at St.
Sims.
John AME Church.
And Pastor Rodney Goss with his cool self over there
Yes.
at Morning Star. That's
Yes.
my partner right there
Yes.
too. But I just want to shout them out, because everybody always asks when something happened in the community, what's the first thing they say? Where are the pastors? Man, where the pastor at? Pastor ain't here.
Right.
So kudos to them for showing up. And it was a packed out house.
It was a packed
So
out
it
house.
goes to show, when the pastors say something and speak, people show up.
Yeah.
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 So, hey.
And that's one thing I can say. So I can say that, so my response to the event is it was very well put on. It was very well thought out. I think the pastors did a very good job of sharing the responsibility in moderating. I think that they asked very good questions because each pastor. So the way it was set up is, they did prayer, of course. Everything that we do prayer first. So prayer was done first. They explained the rules. Pastor Goss gave you the rules. This is how we're going to operate, and this is how it's going to go. And then each church had a question. That they
so
posed.
The pastors was a representative of a church,
right?
Not just that's big.
Yeah. So each one of them had a question that they asked, and each candidate was asked to the question, and each one of them had time to answer.
And I got to add to this too. The Divine Nine also, was they like the co-hosts or just supporting? When I saw on the news, it said the Coalition and the Divine Nine.
Right. So the Divine Nine was present because, of course, that a few of the pastors are members of the Divine Nine, but they were present as well. And so each one of those organizations had a question. Okay. That they posed. And then the community as a whole, we were given cards as soon as we walked in. And we had the opportunity to write our questions down and put, the ushers took up all the questions and they passed them over to the moderators. And they kind of, went through them because, of course, it was only 2 hours. So you can't answer and ask every question that was given. But they kind of went through them to kind of pick out, some of the more, the tougher questions, for the candidates to answer. So I think it was very well orchestrated. I think that everybody ended up having a voice. The way they did it, it kind of made it more so where everybody had a voice.
Typically, pastors are structured. Mm-hmm. Because church has to be structured. I'm going to do a quick shout out to CV.
The
security. CV and his people weren't even going to let me in.
Yeah.
They
weren't going to let you in?
You late.
I got
we don't
to
even
walk
have
right
a seat.
in.
You got to walk right in. You probably was the first one there. But CV said, "Oh, wait a minute, that's Charles. I know him. Come on in, man." But security was there. Mm-hmm. It was a good vibe, good energy. Mm-hmm. But what's your reaction? Damali's reaction?
So my reaction to the candidates and their responses to the questions, in my opinion, I felt like Representative Monroe Nichols was, in my opinion, he did a better job. He did a better job of speaking to and I think he thought more about, his responses were more genuine and more to who I would choose, right, as somebody to represent me, just based on his platform. Just listening to his
Now, let me ask you this now, because we were in the hood. Mm-hmm. We on Greenwood.
Right.
We on Black Wall Street. Do you think that leaned it his way because the audience was probably 97% African American? Do you think that added any nervousness or pressure to Karen Keith? I'm just saying. Because it's potential.
Right. And it could have. But at the end of the day, everybody, Tulsa as a whole is very diverse. So you've got to be able to sit with the Native Americans. You got to be able to sit with the Hispanics. You got to be able to sit with whomever because they're all a part of the community. So, yeah, I think that Monroe was probably a little nervous, because I will say this. I believe that the black community, we have been neglected for so long. And so at this point at this time, we're standing up for ourselves. We're saying, hey, we don't want the same old. The good old boys club, we're done with that. And so I think we're critical of everybody. It don't make no difference if you black or white or, orange. It don't matter. If you come into our community, we're critical because we know how we've been treated, how we've been neglected. And so at this point, it's like we want to hear what you're going to say. We want to hear your plan. And if your plan don't make no sense, I don't care if you're black or not. We ain't voting for you, period.
Let me do this. Victor M. Grimes.
Hey, Victor, how are you?
Leslie Colbert, welcome to the
Leslie.
show. CB said, yo, you two. I see you in the house. CB,
Yes.
we appreciate you tuning in. Y'all share this. Alicia Walker, welcome to the show as well.
Hey, Alicia.
Mr. Muhammad, welcome to the show as well. Man, we got thousands of other. Shout out to Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby was in there with his shades on. So first,
yeah, we sat together, so we came in at the same time.
Uncle Bobby got the shades on and his hat was leaned to the left when normally it's to the right. So I said, KBOB is in the house.
Right,
You know what I mean? So I know he was taking it in. He kind of gave me his take on it. But what I'll say what I loved about it is, to me, the pastor seemed like it was about accountability.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes candidates say that they're doing this and they're doing that. But since pastors are in such a leadership role, it was the genuineness that pastors was getting up there saying, hey, I'm hearing about the work y'all saying y'all doing in the community, doing this and doing that. But the bottom line, I haven't seen you nowhere.
You know what? And I'll tell you another thing that so one of the questions that I would have had, and I appreciate the question was from Pastor Sean Jarrett. So his church is located right around the corner from the police station on 36th Street, right? And that's where we grew up. And, my mom still lives in a house there today. And so his question was that, they put the police station, which was in my old elementary school. It used to be Frederick Douglass
What's
Elementary.
the location?
So it's on 36th Street, and I think that's
75
Columbia.
almost?
Yeah,
The
Highway 75 right there. 36th Street and Columbia, I believe, is that street. But so anyway, next door was a park, Amos T. Hall Park.
Right.
And we used to go there and do karate and pottery classes and all kinds of stuff when we were kids. Well, now.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
We can't just go that fast. So you a baby Bruce Lee?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know about that, JB
Yeah,
Smooth.
yeah.
The mother
I ain't
sitting
no
over
killer,
here.
but don't push me.
Just
No,
try-
I'm just playing.
That's why every time she get mad, you notice JB,
all
she be getting in this weird stance, and I be
And then
like,
you be like,
I'm like, is that because she bow-legged or? When you make the Molly mad, she be getting in this stance, Uncle Bobby. We
Molly
gotta
look
be
like she
careful
hit
in
him
these
with the
streets.
thunder.
I know she started straightening up her hair, and I'm
Yeah.
like, is that a hoo-yah? Is that a okay? So over at that's why you're mad they closed it.
Right.
So this
Yeah,
is where your
that's
place
right.
where you brought in the spirit
I
of Bruce
learned
Leroy.
karate, yes.
Were you Bruce Lee or Bruce
Yeah.
Leroy?
Yeah,
It's a
that's-
difference.
she kicked somebody.
No,
She
Bruce
kicked
Leroy.
somebody so hard, all I heard was
JB, the question is, she Bruce Lee or Bruce Leroy?
Bruce Leroy.
Both of them good.
Dorita.
Right.
Or is she what's the dude name? Shogun?
She bro.
Who's the master? You remember?
Listen,
I ain't
don't
gonna
mess
get
with me. Y'all know I'm blazing.
I'm back
Y'all
focused.
know I'm blazing.
That's
Hold
Black
on.
She-Ra.
It was a real. You made me think about who's the master Shogun.
Right.
You remember that? He started glowing, and then
Okay, y'all
Okay.
see, we get way off. We
back,
way off. Back
to the park where you
Bring
played
it back
took
in.
karate.
Look, thank
Sean
you. Drop
Jarrett.
the beat.
Sean Jarrett. Pastor
Pastor
Sean Jarrett.
Sean Jarrett
What's his
asked the question, and his question was, what each candidate planned on doing about the parks in our community.
I like
that.
that.
He made the point that park had been shut down, and now they're using the what used to be the community center as an evidence locker room. For all of the evidence from cases that happened at the police station. And so each one of the candidates had to answer that. For me, I just felt like Karen Keefe's answer was kind of all over the place. And it just really didn't boil down to me. Now, you guys give us your thoughts
Chime
about
in,
it if
right.
you were there. But to me, her answer didn't boil down to what I wanted to hear as someone who knew that park. Frequent that park, and as a child that, have some fond memories from that park. It just didn't, and I just think that Monroe Nichols provided a better solution to being able to bring
I'm
those
glad.
parks
So
back.
I'm glad that instead of it being like a debate, it was questions like that, because it's a real issue not having the parks. They don't put these splash pads up everywhere.
I know, right?
But when you go over to the Gathering Place and when you go over to the Fortune Park and you go out south, it's like there's a difference.
Exactly.
It don't
Huge
quite
difference.
hit the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think that to have America come in and say, let's balance this out more, to give North Tulsa the same thing South Tulsa gets. So I think that was a very, very good question. Here's the ticket. This must be the hottest potato in the world for any candidate running for anything. The reparations question.
Yeah.
Boy, you talking about a hot potato.
They be
Well,
dancing.
and they
JB
both
Smooth,
dance.
You want the break dancing to start? Ask them, what is your stance on reparations?
So
I can't get nobody.
the funny thing about that is that was the very first question. And if you go back and look at my video that I posted on World One Development, that was
It's
the
on the
very
video?
first question.
Hey.
And Monroe Nichols was like, "Oh my God, y'all just came out with the heat, just right out the gate."
It's because they do keep dancing around it, and they're giving legit answers when they try to answer. They just can't. I just don't think either one of them can actually come out and say, "Oh, I support reparations. I support giving money back to the families."
Right.
That's what JB.
That's where the accountability comes in.
That's
And
that's what I appreciate better when we go. If it's any place that deserves reparation, it's Black Wall Street. It's Tulsa, Oklahoma. And when we go to Evanston, Illinois, we go to Omaha and other places, the Americans say yes. Other leaders can say, yes, I support, and this is how we should support it. But why in Tulsa? Because I think they know the answer. Here's the ticket. This is what I call politics. Because when you sit in these seats, you can't just be really your fully authentic self
Right.
because you're thinking about the voter. You're
Right.
thinking about that. So that's something to me you have to consider. because I would feel better if they just say no. No, I'm not for it, and this is why.
Well, and I
Or
will tell
yes,
you
and
that
this is why, but not all that
well, and I will
teeter-tottering.
tell you that Karen Keefe did say she was not for giving money to the reparations movement. Now, she will work with helping to get money to small businesses. She will help, with housing.
They both said that.
So it's like, I'll help do these programs, in the community,
They ain't cutting no checks.
We ain't cutting no checks.
Let me ask y'all this. Damali, what you think about reparations? What if you was running for mayor or city council? You might run one day, so you might won't think about it, Bruce Leroy, little sister. But when you think, like, for real, like, politics and stuff, we deal with enough, so we ain't in politics. We on the radio with KBOB.
Right.
But what do you think about reparations? Yes or no, and why?
I think yes, because there's generational wealth that was lost.
Right.
Because of the atrocity that took place in 1921. I always think about like the Hilton family, how they are, they have chains all across the country. Well, just think about how many hotels were burnt down in Black Wall Street that could have been like the Hilton family.
Let me ask you this then, the second part to it. So because it happened over a century ago, a lot of people say the people that was the predators or the government or the city and whoever did that, it should have been under that leadership that it was paid back because they the one that did it. So what do you say to the taxpayers of today to say, I don't want to pay for what they did because I didn't do it to take money from what I'm trying to do right now? What would you thought on that?
But so what I would say to people of today is that is still someone's grandfather. That was someone's grandmother,
Right.
great aunties and great uncles. And at the end of the day, if it were your family, right, you would still want that justice and you would still want that right wronged, right? Or that wrong righted.
Because the law is the law.
And the law is the law.
There's
JB,
no statute limitations on murder.
JB Smooth, Mayor JB.
Hey, what's going on there?
Reparations, yes or no, and why?
There's no statute limitations on murder,
First,
so that's why.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because they deserve it. And there's only two people living left. And then you can go back and talk about the descendants and the families of people who aren't here anymore. But when it comes to the only two people living, which it was three, now it's only two, how long will it be two before it's zero? They deserve some justice. They have fought through everything. They've been to all the levels. And now you just seen the Department of Justice had to step in and say, hold on.
DOJ?
Yeah.
Supreme Court didn't want to hear this.
Man, had to go to the DOJ.
But everybody
JB.
knows what happens.
This show is not about reparations, y'all. We just want
It's
to
not.
let y'all get out because it seems like we can't never get a straight answer from nobody.
It's about
so.
them. They cannot meet the question head on because it is a really sticky situation when it comes to who's responsible for what happened versus how to fix that situation. I know 2 years ago, or what was it, 21 Centennial,
20,
and it was like,
20.
oh, we talked about it with Bobby and CNN and Oprah and Michael Jordan and everybody was here. And when the cameras are gone, who's here? Who's here fighting for justice for Greenwood? Very few people.
Well,
Let
and
me
that's what
ask
we
you-
talked about even back then.
Let me ask you this then, Damali. So you said yes, reparations,
Right.
but then when you say reparations, what should they give to the people? Like what specific?
Specifically for me, give us our land back. Give us Greenwood. Give us the 40 acres back and get out the way.
So your thing
Don't
is,
tell us
so
how-
your reparations, because I don't want you to get on soapbox, so you start breathing hard, and you know karate now. So relax. We just having a conversation. We all family. Bobby, he's family. He not in it.
Right.
So see, Damali, she on her toes under the table. I didn't want to tell y'all that. But just relax and just say, okay, when I think reparations for the people, because I know your great-grandparents, some people lived on there. When you say reparations, what would that be? Just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think give us back the land. For one, and let us decide how because we did it once, and we did it without your help.
Right.
So let us do it again. We know what we need and what we want for our community. Give us our land and get out the way. And then also provide us with programs, just like we did with the Native Americans. We've done it with every other culture. We've provided them with federal funds, right, to do the things that they need to do to take care of their community. So give us our land back, get out the way, and give us federal funds so that we can do what we need to do in our community.
And I'll say too, I guess my thing is I definitely would say yes. So if I was running for office one day, I would still say yes. And the people that I think about everybody that lost their life. When you think about the doctor that got shot. You know, when Dr. Question went and they got the soil and we had to pray and sing just to give a proper burial. The people that they just dug up when the city started digging and looking through the mass graves and they put a team together for that. Now you start digging up bodies and they got 6'7" men crammed down in a 4-foot box and that. So you see the atrocity, you see what happened. And I feel like if you could do it for, like you said, if you can do it for the Indians and if you can do it for the other cultures and you made it right, then it seems like anytime it comes time to make it right with us, it's too hard to find a way to make it right. And I think that anytime you have a war, you can go find billions of dollars for people that don't even have nothing to do with nothing that we're doing and ship that out. So I just think that I'm with you. If I say reparations is what it is, I think it is money. And I think it's land. Other things that I think that people could do, it could be free education. Yeah, I think the best education, wherever you want to get your education in Oklahoma, should be free.
I think it's because
all the way through college.
Honestly, because that number that you would have to put on it, if it's money, they don't want to discuss that number because that number is very high.
But the ticket is when you steal it, then why you can't give it back? You stole it.
Exactly. You know. And so this is the thing. So Uncle Brian is saying, this is what Uncle Brian says. He says some of the same families that were involved in the race massacre are still involved with running this city. So we need reparations. CV says we need economic development that allows the dividends to remain in the community and circulate in our community. I always see projects being performed by others, and when it's over, the money leaves with it. We have many qualified people in our neighborhoods that never get an opportunity at the table of success. CB, you are so correct.
That is really good. And I think another thing that would be an ideal is an endowment. Billions of endowment. And within that endowment is part of economic development, is part of things for the school, is part of the things with education and all of those things. Like right now, the land that we own, I don't know why the city has to own the land. That people know burnt down, and you can go back to who owned that land. And then take it and try to find ways to develop and then want to put it in the Tulsa world, put it on the news and say this what's the best thing we should do. Then I think that's wrong to do it that. Now I'm not originally from here, you know, but of course I didn't hear about the massacre until I moved here. But I think it was a reason why it was a dirty little secret forever. But now that it's out, I think people can sit down, because here's the ticket, Damali. When they was burning down for those days, the city, when it's a fire, who's supposed to come?
The city.
When the fire department. Let's make it specific. So when they was burning down, when it was burning, somebody called 911. What happened to the fire department? They didn't show up. These are citizens paying taxes. When people was getting murdered, who do you call?
You call the police.
You call the police. Guess what? No, the National Guard. When things get out of hand, nobody, the government, nobody showed up for these people for these days while people was getting killed, getting lynched, burning their homes down, and doing that, and nobody showed up. And them same
and some
systems,
of those folks, they were deputizing folks to continue
equipping
the terror.
them and doing that.
With the terror.
So when something is that egregious, you know, you have to repair that. It's no way to get around not repair. And when I get a chance to listen to the survivors that are still living, and they so sweet, they so humble, but when you get into that massacre, you can see the tears in their eyes, you can see the fear in their eyes and all that, but they still, you know what, Damali, they still don't have hate in their heart.
No.
They want to make it right. Now, these women that live to get 110, JB Smooth.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking they are hanging around. It's like talking to them is like talking to history.
Oh, yeah.
You got to think the massacre seemed like it happened a million years ago. They still living today and got books out as bestsellers.
Right.
And we got to find a way to get
Was
that
there
right.
any mudslinging that happened at the forum?
No. There was not.
While
I was there, I had to leave. I had to leave before it was over.
I didn't make it. So was it pretty clean?
Let's do this. The first question was reparations, so we'll let that lie because that was the first question. But our point is everybody dances around it, and we'll leave it right there.
Yeah, it's two-stepping.
Now let's go back to the mud. So Damali, you gave your reaction.
Is
there anything else you want to add to your reaction from that?
Well, in response to JB's question, so one of the questions, and I can't remember which pastor brought it up, but one of the questions was that Karen Keefe had did a commercial, and she has been making comments stating that Monroe Nichols wanted to defund the police department.
Right.
And so he responded to that and said that was a blatant lie, that his father was a police officer. And so he would never want to do anything that would dishonor his dad, first and foremost. But he respected, at one point, he wanted to be a police officer. So, you know, he was like, that's a blatant lie. I would want to do whatever I could to uphold what those officials do, you know, what police officers do and service providers do. So there was a little bit. So when it was Karen's time to rebut that,
right.
or, you know, to talk about, not rebut, because this is a forum. So, you know, when it was her time to say something about that, then she kind of threw in the fact that people were saying stuff about her, about knowing that there was molestation going on over at the juvenile detention center.
There was.
But this is the thing. Nobody brought that up. That wasn't even the question. So it's like, why did you even bring that? But it was almost kind of a tit for tat right there in that moment. And I was like, why did she even bring that up?
Because that's her baby. That project is her baby. She was instrumental in getting that work done and that place built.
Right. But that didn't have nothing to do with the question that was asked.
Yeah,
that was my point.
That was probably her guilty conscience coming into play too.
Yeah, trying to slide it in.
Yeah, and I'll say my uncut reaction was one thing that I do love about these two candidates is I don't feel like neither one of them I don't like. So that's the first thing. Like, neither one of them do I feel like, oh, if they was my mayor, I'd be like, oh, somebody cried me a river. I don't feel like that about neither one of them. And another big thing, too, I appreciate them coming into the hot box.
Exactly.
Because people have questions about Monroe and Karen that they don't know, that they're trying to get answers for. So I appreciate them both coming in. At this point, my reaction is I think Monroe seems to be just a better person when it comes to a debate or a forum or being on TV, because this is about the fourth time I've seen them being questioned. And I just think Monroe does better with his poise. I think he does better with his responses.
Right.
And I don't know if that's just about not her maybe being nervous. I don't know, because everybody can't get up and do that. But if you on the but here's the other side. If you've been on the news for like 30 years, that's kind of like your space. You seem like you would be equipped.
Better have them facts ready.
Yeah.
And so this is what it makes me think. For me, when it just gets down to just like the platform, and if it was in reverse, I'd be rolling saying, Karen, yours sound better. But when it comes down to the platform and just being ready on your feet, Monroe just seemed like he does better.
Right.
You know, now am I saying he's automatically the best mayor for the city? I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to people asking questions and they coming back and doing that, and I don't never see him really mudslinging, and I do like that about Monroe.
Right, yeah.
I never, JB's moving about. I never see him try to cast. No, it's like, I just want to talk about what I'm doing. And even when mud is being slung his way, it's like he still try to find a diplomatic way to deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't see him, you know what I mean? So I think it's neck and neck, Damali. What you think? It's coming. We only got a few more weeks.
So I'll tell you this. So these are some of the things that Monroe Nichols stands for. Okay, and then I'll give you a few of Karen Keith.
This is the platform.
Yeah, they're
We're going
platform.
to the platform, y'all.
So he aspires to make Tulsa the safest big city in America.
I like that little phrase.
Right.
Though. I must say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that too. He plans on enacting policies to reduce crime by focusing on intervention strategies, neighborhood revitalization initiatives, and addressing the mental health crisis in community. He also wants to end homelessness and has a plan in place, or a plan that he plans to put in place if he gets into the office, to end homelessness by 2030 through policies that will involve increasing affordable housing in Tulsa and creating a citywide system of mental and substance abuse support and reducing the eviction rate in the city. And then I'll give you a couple of he wants also to reduce blighted properties by 60% over his 4-year term. And he wants to create a pathway to economic mobility from the time children enter school up until they graduate school and go off to college. So I think those are great things. So if you want more information.
That's a pretty good platform. What can you go to visit these things yourself?
It's monroeformayor.com. In order to get all of the information. He's had, there's a whole plan.
Just kind of highlight a little bit, but you go check it out for yourself.
Karen Keith also wants to address homelessness by investing in supportive housing and integrating wraparound services, opening a new low barrier shelter, and ensuring that new housing developments contribute to the reduction in homelessness. She also hopes to improve public safety by providing a comprehensive response to the police force and the demographic. and aims to address comprehensive responses to mental health and increase the number of police in Tulsa. And if you want more information about her, and one of the other things she said was she also wanted to work with tribal nations to foster economic growth and support diverse housing developments in Tulsa by streamlining the permitting process and expediting project approvals and enhancing developer support through innovative practices.
Let me tell you now, Damali, that's a good one. That last one,
yeah.
Because a lot of people that try to build and permitting, it seems like it drags on
Forever,
and on
yeah.
and on, and that's a lot of the delays why we probably have such a shortage when it comes down to housing. So to me, I think that might be one of her strong suits because that will put our city definitely in a better spot. I want to go to the live real quick because people are lighting it up. I appreciate y'all for being on. I didn't notice, but Uncle Brian said that his father was a sheriff, assistant DA, judge, and mayor of Inglewood, California.
Oh, wow.
So I see things here differently than others. So Keith has taken her campaign negative. You know what, Damali, what's your? I'll say this. I think I agree with you on that because I got a text to my phone and it had Monroe, but shedding him. And as a brother, it hit me wrong because I'm a brother too.
Right.
So you get this picture where he's kind of looking mean and like that, and then saying he's doing nothing for Tulsa. And they sent it to my phone.
Right.
And I figured if
I
it
got
came
it
to
too.
my phone, it came to your phone too.
It did.
So, and it didn't come from him, of course.
No.
So that's when you talk about mudslinging and going negative. You know, then I feel like those are the kind of things that I don't like. Just send me what you're going to be doing to make the community better.
Right.
That's what's going to help me make an informed decision, not trying to mudsling something over here, over there.
Right. And let me go ahead and say this, too, that if you want more information about Karen Keith, you can go to KarenKeith.org. So that's MonroeForMayor.com or KarenKeith.org.
Well, let me add this. I did speak to former Commissioner Karen Keith, her and her I say her person that books where she goes, her campaign manager. So she's looking to be able to come here next week.
Okay.
Right here on KBOB 89.9 FM, World One Development News you can use with Charles and Damali. And Monroe put it on his schedule. So they both should be here next week. So we can ask some more questions. If you have something between now and then, we'll write those things down. But they should be in studio next week, which will put us, 2 weeks?
Away from the
actual election.
Before the election, yeah.
Let me make sure. So make sure you tune in next week. We'll have them on, and we'll try our best to get you the information. Yes, once they come on, we'll be 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
So you'll get a chance to hear from them. We're going to ask all of the questions, and you'll still have 2 more weeks to do your own
next
homework.
week, the 23rd, they'll be
The
here.
23rd, they'll be
Then
here.
the following week after that, we got the
Yeah, the
another
part
installment.
two.
series.
Yeah.
The series will come right behind that. But we'll do that. And the current county commissioner actually going to be on the show next week as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an exciting show.
Yeah, a lot of politics.
So do we want to take a quick break? Because what we want to talk about next is everybody say that the community should be a reflection of the church. How do we feel like we're doing with that? Do we feel like the black church is doing their part? That's what we're going to get into next month.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Are we going to take a break or no break? We'll take a quick break.
KBOB 89.9 FM, World One Development, News You, Charles and Damali, coming back with the pastors. Are they doing good with the churches in the community? We'll be right back, y'all.
EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
Fitting Back In is a reintegration program designed to help those from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday to Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. KBOB 89.9 FM, World One Development, News You Can Use, Charles and Damali, and we are back.
We are back. And so, so we've been talking about this forum and the fact that the mayoral forum that actually took place on Monday at the historic Vernon AME Church, and it was sponsored by the North Tulsa Pastors Coalition,
Right.
Which made Charles and I, we were having a conversation, and we thought, what role does the Black church play in community at this point? Historically, and so of course I went and did some research, and of course, historically the role.
Can we just give a poll to the people, so as we read it, they can think about it?
Yes.
So what we want to think about all across the country, we got people in here for Texas, Arkansas, and all around the country. Do you feel like your Black church in your community is doing a good job of engaging the community, supporting the community, having resources for community? Do you think we're still doing that today? Like it used to be back in the day. That's kind of what we're going, and we're going to give some information based on that.
And give your why. So if your answer is yes, then tell us why. If your answer is no, then tell us why. Okay?
Absolutely.
So what I found is that the role that the Black church played in community is to provide a safe place to preach and pray, but it has always been much more than a place of spiritual practice. It was a center of education, civil rights, struggle, and social activism, but also the center of racial oppression, entertainment, and artistic expression. So that was the definition. Mom said she forgot to sign in.
Well, let me ask you this, Damali. What is your thought on how the Black church or the African American churches, how they're currently doing in our community, even other communities, because you travel a lot as well?
So I would say that in the circles that I am in, I see the Black church is still there and is still being one of these pillars, meaning they are still working for social justice, still talking about voting, still talking about the issues that plague our community. Now, the issue that I see is that we are not as present as we used to be in the Black church. So then that creates a barrier. And so what I mean by that is, it used to be that was the thing.
Right.
If you think about, even if you look at old pictures from Black Wall Street, you see that on Sunday morning, everybody, it don't matter who you are, you going to church.
You talking now. And I just think it's drastically different.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When I think about how it was, man, when I went to, it used to be church buses coming.
Yeah.
Picking up people, picking up kids,
Yeah.
vans,
cookies,
Kool-Aid. What's the thing you used to do during the summer? All summer you go
Bible camp?
Super church.
Super church,
Saturdays.
Bible camp. I
Yeah.
forgot what we used to call it. It used to be somewhere you go all day.
Revivals.
Yeah.
Revivals you doing Father Abraham
Yeah.
and million.
Yeah.
Remember that
Vacation
song?
Bible school.
Vacation Bible School.
Yeah.
Vacation Bible School in Arkansas. That's what it was. And then and for me, you can say how it was. Man, it's like the church never closed when I was young.
Oh, yeah.
You could go to the church, doors was never locked.
Right.
You go in, somebody in there cooking, somebody in there cleaning, they doing something outside, somebody cutting. So it's like the church doors was always, open. It seemed like you was less hungry. It seemed 2-3 times a week they was cooking food. Now, some churches are still doing that. So I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm just saying overall, if I think about North Tulsa where I live, it just seems like the community is just lacking in terms of prosperity based on having like 300 churches. It seemed like you would see more prosperity. You should have more than one grocery store.
Right.
I'm just saying, I think if you got 300 churches, you should have more than one grocery store. So just things like the housing shouldn't be as bad. It should be more home ownership and not all these people leasing.
And you got to have more than one church's chicken, too.
And you got to have more than one church's chicken for JB. I just think
seriously.
you know what I'm saying?
Because a lot of churches will get church's chicken on Sunday and bring it to church if they don't cook.
Yeah.
Because-
So what I found as I'm researching this, because we're talking about what's happening in Tulsa, but I wanted to get an overall picture. So an overall picture said that the church has been the hub for political activism, economic and social life, and community programs. It was the spiritual formation for people. It was a place of healing. It was also the place where leaders and political and social justice advocacy, which is more like what we just just saw
I like that.
on Monday. There was always community programs, including libraries and job training programs. It was a economic and social life. There was always things happening that affected the social activities for the community. There was refuge. When slavery was a thing.
Let me ask you this too. Like back in the day, to me, it seemed like a lot of pastors, they would get together more. To me, and it might just be my perspective, it seemed like pastors in my mind don't get along as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? JB, your pastors get along with each other?
Man, I ain't really never seen no pastors just feuding, but I've seen a few instances around Tulsa over my 25 years being here that pastors have gotten into it and just couldn't get along.
And I think so. If JB pastor don't get along with
Not
my
my
pastor,
pastor.
I'm not saying yours. I'm giving an example.
Yeah.
That if your pastor don't get along with my pastor, then me and you. So our church is not gonna come together on nothing because
Never.
But when it seemed like when I was younger, pastor was always preaching at other churches.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of like this my church.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you're an associate minister or something at that church, I don't see pastors at other churches. It's like.
We left the house at 8:30 a.m.
Man.
Was there ready for Sunday school to start and went all the way through church and probably wouldn't get to go home until 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon on a Sunday.
And did y'all have Sunday evening service?
Yes, and
you go home, eat, and come back.
And the days that we did get out early, it was because we was going to another church after our church. Mm-hmm. In our church conference in the area where I grew up at, there was 5 churches in that conference, and we'd all go fellowship with each other on one of those Sundays. So everybody would visit each other.
Right.
And I know at our church, it was like after church every Sunday, you had food. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing clothes and stuff like that. So if you didn't have a jacket or if you didn't have a family was struggling, it seemed like after church you got a hot meal.
Yeah.
And it was just places where they was giving people jackets and coats. And it's like, it
wasn't all about the rubbernecking, all the celebrity and who's who and all the being cute and outdoing this person. It was just down home Christian fellowship, like, especially in Arkansas. I don't know about over here, but
one of the things that I Googled because I wanted to know, are the churches failing or not, right?
Oh, okay.
So this is the response that came back.
And then we'll go to the live.
It says, while not entirely failing, many black churches are experiencing a decline in attendance, particularly among younger generations, which is impacting their role within the community, indicating a shift in their influence rather than a complete failure. This is largely due to the changing demographics and evolving religious practices among younger black Americans.
That's because they all go to transformation.
Now, let me ask y'all this.
Let me transformation.
The young people do.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this because we kind of middle of the road.
Right.
But we not young. We're in the middle of the road. We just don't want to get hit. We just right here. So what I want to ask, to me, it seemed like when we were younger, it was a clear difference in music and gatherings when it was church. Mm-hmm. And songs and things on the radio versus what was going on in the world. It was like a clear line in between the two.
Yeah.
I can tell you, to me, I don't think that line is as clear no more. If you see a concert going on, until you really listen, you might not know if it's a church concert, if it's Lil Wayne or Bootsy or somebody.
Right.
It's like, it's just all, and it's kind of like when you go to church, it's so much more entertainment. Mm-hmm. Do you think that plays a role in it a little bit?
Think, though, that what has happened, though, is young folks are... I think when we were younger, like JB said, we would go to church from the time sun came up to the time the sun went down.
Me
and
too. I was in that boat.
You would be, if you sleepy, go back there and go to sleep on that back pew. If you got homework, go back there on that back pew and get your homework. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it don't matter whatever the situation is. You in church and you gonna do it back there on that back pew.
Well, here's the ticket. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it seems like people don't want to go to church twice. They going to go in the morning, they done. But if you think about when we were little, if you came back to church in the evening, it would be as packed, if not more packed, than it was early. You be in church till about 10 o'clock. And this is another thing I used to love about back then. Can you remember all the old women get hot, but they fall under the pews and come to the back, go back to the front. Anyway, I ain't going to get into that too much. But anyway, I love the sizes of the choir. Mm-hmm. Now you go to these big old churches and you be like, all we got is 2 people. And that's, think about the choir back in the day, JB. The choir would be, full. You had to go to choir practice like 3 times a week.
Right.
But it seemed like, what do you think? It's just,
But I think that it's the times that we live in. I think some of us who were in that era, then we were like, man, I ain't going to church 3-4 times. I ain't doing all that. And so we don't require our kids. We have given our kids a whole lot of leeway.
She done took the glasses off.
We say, if I don't want to go to church today because I was at the football game last night. See, what happened in my household? When we were coming up, if you go out and serve the devil at night, you're going to be at church on Sunday morning.
I done seen a lady go to Retro and be at church the next morning.
Church.
Let me tell you something right now. When I was going to the club, I was not serving the devil. Now, I don't know who said that. When I was
Ferdinand Willis.
Well, I'm just saying, when I was going to the club, I just wanted to dance a little bit. But
It's
I definitely
about socializing and having a good time with your friends and family.
No, but I'm just saying, that was her. That was the old way. That's what
I just don't want
folks
club
think.
goers to think that we think you're serving the devil.
No,
if
we
you're
don't
going
think
out
that.
to have a good time.
But
now, if you had the juke joint back in the crossroads, going to dance with the devil, then that's what y'all doing back
now,
then. If you had a P. Diddy party.
Now, if you at the Diddy party, or
Lord.
if you smoking and indulging in a whole lot of crazy stuff, now that is the devil's playground.
Can I say this real quick? Just got to take my hat off to some of the artists that have found a way musically to be able to reach out and touch the younger generation. 'Cause it is so tough to get in tune with their ideology, their morals, the way they think. It's a whole different world for them. And I just say, shout out to the gospel artists, that the ones you do see.
The ones
you don't. It sounds so good. You don't know if it's gospel or if it's R&B. Mm-hmm. But once you get to hear the message, you see, they are really trying to reach the younger generation and that lost generation, because there is an entire generation out there that's lost that needs the help. And I think it's just so amazing. Some of the big churches, like your Transformations, that have a young demographic. Right. Some of the artists, like your Ty Tribbetts and your Dietrich Haddons, that have found a way to touch people's lives
in a whole different kind of way. I agree.
It's still doing God's work.
Yeah.
Let me go to the live. I just got to get some shout outs because they're going to say, Charles, you forgot about all of us.
Oh, go ahead.
So, of course, your mom is on.
Hey, Mom.
Marcel, welcome to the show.
Hey, Marcel.
Napoleon, Eddie.
Hey.
Vera, welcome to the show. Polo Powell out of St. Louis, he said he in the house. Welcome to the show. Eric, Christopher, Patricia Griffin is in the building.
Hey, sis.
Mr. Lewis is in. Alex,
Hello.
Carlton, Todd, Damon May, Leonard Weatherspoon Jr., Marcus Williams.
Oh, wow.
Shauna. I know it's a lot of people on.
Yeah,
we appreciate y'all tuning in.
It's going
Click
down.
share on this. Are churches still playing a role in the black community? How do y'all feel about that? Is what we're currently talking about.
So this is what I want to do. I just want to punt this out there. You guys mull it over and tell me what your thoughts are.
Okay. This is participation time.
Yeah, this is participation. So I Googled 7 reasons why the black church lacks influence. Because apparently there's,
Come on,
the
JB.
thought is
Guess
that
what
there's.
day it is?
Angie Dixon Walker, welcome to the
Hey,
show.
sis, what's happening?
Angie, you're going to like this segment. What we getting ready to go over,
Yes.
Damali?
So we're going to talk about 7 reasons why the black church lacks influence.
Angie, so we looking for your answer.
Yeah.
Because you're on NYCU.FM.
And you can
It's a
talk
new
about
day.
it tomorrow on It's a New Day.
You sure can. Come on, let's
Okay.
go with it. What is it?
So this is what they come up with. They say that there are 7 reasons why the black church is lacks influence. The number 1 reason is the failure to make faith and the faith and life intersect.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
What y'all think about that
Yeah.
on the live? Wait, hold
Tough.
on.
It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Let me see what Angie said for sure.
Yeah.
Uncle Brian said in the 60s, 80% of all people went to church. Now less than 35. Uncle Brian, that's what I was saying.
Oh, wow.
Go to church on Sundays. Because of changing attitudes and overall not being able to meet people where they are, which goes to the first thing you just read.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Yes. Let me go back.
It's definitely a perception.
Failure to make faith and life intersect. And so let me tell you this. I've talked to some teenagers that tell me that the reason why they don't go to church is because they believe that the church is hypocritical.
Man.
Meaning, we're talking God, but then I see you in the club with me. So how you going to tell me about my life and my lifestyle and what I'm doing if the pastor is in here breaking it down harder than I'm breaking it down?
Man, that's you know what? That's real talk.
Yeah, so we're like, so they're like, why would I listen to anything that you're saying when you're doing the same thing that I'm already doing? And so that was one of the
Right.
things. Reason number 2, systematic injustice. They say that the black communities in inner cities are the way they are because of decisions that were made years ago, whether it was poor and inadequate housing or the choice to build freeways over thriving neighborhoods. Most of the problems boil down to systematic injustice.
Let's do this. Go to the live. I'm trying to keep y'all in. Ronnie Foreman, welcome to the show. Angie Dixon Walker said, for sure. Jeremiah Blackwell said, younger generations have found discrepancies with religion. Thus, the disparity.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Damali?
Yeah. And I think that, but I think that that's true. You know, I think that we're more educated now. And so these generations that are coming up behind us are more educated. They have more access. You know, if I can just Google something in a couple of minutes, and come up with an answer. And then so now that, we've allowed some of our kids to challenge.
Right.
And so it's not do as I say anymore. It's like but why?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The but why?
Let me ask you this, Jeremiah, to your point. Damali, what role do you think is when they decided to take it out of our schools? They took prayer out of the schools. Right. They took the Bible out of the schools. Because you remember when we was little, you got just as much church at school. Think about it. Just as much church at school as you did at home or when you went to church. But do you think removing that, and that's in them formative years, kindergarten, first, second, third, you don't pray, you don't do, they removed that from the school. Do you think that may have?
I think that that's a reason why people have lost a connection to a higher being. And then I think, too, that I can kind of see where some of it, that why you would want to pull some of it away, but I think you need to do it in a different way because there are so many religions. So if I'm a Muslim, I don't want to come and pray to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not who I believe in. I believe in Allah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't do that.
It's a different world, and then I think you're right in that because of just access. Because here's the ticket. Back then, JB Smooth, you didn't have social media. You didn't have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Everything went record. Because back then, the pastor would be at the club and then go preach. But a lot of people didn't get to see him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
People had things going on, but you didn't see it. So now everything is kind of like just wide open.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to walk it and talk it. And here's the thing, though, Damali, nobody is still going to ever be perfect.
That's right.
Even in that, y'all.
Right.
You don't want your reason not to go to church. Now, it'd be different if your pastor's out here selling drugs
now,
and then go preaching.
different.
I wouldn't go either.
I think that that younger generation too is they're still getting closer to God or getting their message that they need to get. It's just a small group of people who kind of lost in transition. But for the most part, those that do seek God and having a relationship with God and being able to go to a church or find them a church home to go to, it's just all about what translates with them in their spirit. And it does. I don't think it makes them any different than the old school way of doing church versus the new school way of doing church. It's just different approaches.
Yeah. So Michael Brewer says a lot of people don't go to church because the majority of the churches are online, and others feel that they don't get judged and talked about from people outside of the church and inside of the church. And I will say this, that's another thing that young people said was the fact that, church is cliquish. Pastor has his group of people that he want to hang with that, is in his clique. And it's like, the pastor's untouchable, unreachable, because he's got this group that kind of shields him from everybody else. Right or wrong, good or bad, I don't know. I'm not a pastor, so I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, but that's something that I've heard.
Let's get down to the rest of our list.
Okay, the reason number 3 was church hypocrisy, which is what we talked about. Let's see. What they say is church is not effectively helping the black community because of widespread hypocrisy. Many people are in the church on Sunday, but the church is not in them throughout the rest of the week.
I had to disagree a little bit on that.
Man, that's a tough one right there. What's the next one?
Yeah.
I just don't want us to not to
Reason number 4, no leadership pipeline. A lack of leadership. Many older preachers and other leaders have held the positions that are not training the next generation to replace them.
I think and so you have a drop off.
Yeah.
You don't have to connect because a lot of times it goes to this point when the pastor don't preach. Don't let the congregation fail. Now, pastor ain't gonna be there because half the church won't show up.
Sure won't.
Think about that, JB Smooth. If they know the pastor, people will come to church and sit. Pastor's not here today. I'm out of here.
Listen, I was an usher. That was my first job in the church. And I can remember one time we were doing offering, and the announcement came just as this lady had dropped her deal. We're going to have a guest preacher. The lady snatched her offering back, got her purse, and left the church. I am not.
I would love to hear some of the pastors in Tulsa, community in
gonna do
Tulsa's
that?
response to these.
We'll get some of the pastors
these
to come
seven.
in, and here's the ticket in Tulsa. We have some phenomenal pastors.
We absolutely
That's
do.
one thing I love
Yeah.
about Tulsa, and I feel like Tulsa responds. We might be behind in some areas, but I'm just saying, man, I think we have a lot of amazing churches and pastors in Tulsa, and I appreciate that. I just want to say
I think
that.
there's a church for everyone
Yeah.
in Tulsa. You just got to find
Let
it.
me do some quick shout outs, man. So many people coming in. I don't know what's going on. Karen Woods, welcome to the show.
Hey.
Guy Russell, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Samuel Burke, welcome to the
Hey,
show.
Samuel.
Harold Hill, welcome to the
Hello.
show. John Means, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Joseph H. Jones, welcome to the show. The pastors are coming out.
Right.
No, I'm just
All
kidding.
right. So, reason number 5, a lack of connection with the youth. That is a big one.
I think that might be the greatest one.
Yes.
Where are your youth programs?
Yes. Number 6, pie in the sky mentality. One of the things that you will sometimes notice in the black church is a pie in the sky mentality. I'm not sure what you heard, but everything is going to be all right when we get to heaven. Why do anything now?
Oh
So
my
people are
God.
like, no, this is not church for me. I'm out. And then the last thing is a lack of vision.
Whoa,
There is no vision for anything beyond Sunday morning.
man.
So I will
That's
say
tough.
that's the reason why I joined World One, because Bishop Cooper had a vision. At that time, he was Pastor Cooper, but he had a vision for church outside of the four walls. Thus, I was like, yeah, that's what, church can't be just church on Sunday mornings.
Right.
And so because he wanted to do a youth and family fun center, because he wanted to do prison reentry, because he wanted to do other things outside of the church that would benefit community, that's what made me want to join the church and become involved. And now, it's blossomed to, we're on the radio now because of being outside of the church, four walls.
Yeah, and I'll add that. That's my reason. And we're definitely not saying y'all come to World One. We're not
No.
saying that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what's so funny. It's a lot of people in the community that thought that everybody that worked with us went to World One.
Right.
And then when I had to sit back and think about it, I was like, Angie don't go to World One. April don't go. Bobby don't go. Our partners don't go. we the only ones who go to World One, but the ticket. So it's not, when we think World One, you do not have to be a member of our church. Most of the people that work with us,
Yeah.
Rodney Root Tisdale, Corey D, JB, all these different people y'all see us with.
I go to World One.
Sometime.
Yeah.
I go to World One every day.
On Easter Sunday
Every day.
and on Mother's Day. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, JB do help us with our sound and
Yeah.
everything. We've been connected. But Damali, those are some really good points. I think that connection, and I think the youth.
The youth. Yeah, it's a big one.
I mean, these youth, it seems like their days change so much. I don't even know if the pastors can keep up with adjusting, because with all this social media and stuff, I think it's when we were youth, JB, it was easy to keep up with us.
Yes.
Get us some food and them cupcakes after church.
Hit Black
JB.
Black Planet in MySpace.
All they had to have was some Moore's cupcakes and some Kool-Aid after church, and we come to church
Right.
for some fried chicken
Right.
and some of that. But now it's like,
There's just so much more.
because you remember we was little, we'll be at Bible study. We trying to go to the club, but we still go to church first, because we don't want mama
Yeah.
mad, and
Yeah.
daddy mad,
Yeah, and grandma mad.
or the pastor.
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah. So those are some things, and we'll get off into that a little more. I'm actually going to save this because I think that this is something we should talk about a
Did
little
you
bit
hit
later.
7?
That was
she
7.
hit all
Okay,
7. So to
7.
wrap up and switch gears, because we got to get out of here. So the question was, Damali, do you feel like, give it a grade? Do you feel like the black churches is still playing their role? We just gonna say the black community, because that's typically where we live. Give them a grade and why. Me, you, and JB will do that, and we'll move on.
I would say that I would give them a B minus. And the reason I say that is because I do believe that there are some churches that are out there that are doing a whole lot of work.
Right.
And so not to take anything away from those churches, but if you have 300 churches in a small community, and we don't have a grocery store. We're still a food desert. We still don't have the number of black businesses that we should to sustain our own, just what we do. So that means that there's something lacking somewhere. We
Right.
still have churches that don't even speak to each other. You go to that church, I don't fool with y'all. See, it shouldn't be like that. That, to me, that's not reflective of the love of Christ. And so we need to work on that. And it starts at the head. All of this stuff starts at the top and trickles down. So the church is going to go as the leaders go.
Do you think denominations create that?
I think it could, but it shouldn't.
You know, to be honest, when I was little, Damali, I didn't even know the different denominations because everybody was so together growing up in church, or maybe I was just missing the whole boat altogether. But I used to go to church all the time.
Right.
But sometimes is it a denomination thing? Y'all are Baptists. We
Definitely.
Is it that sometimes?
But
we
it,
wanna-
but it
different-
should,
it's
and it
different
shouldn't
cultures.
Be. Yeah.
different culture. And the church is kind of like a culture, you know. And another thing, it seemed like back in the day, we would have a lot more revivals, conferences, stuff that you could participate outside
Catholics
of
let
just
you drink
church.
drink beer at church.
What?
I didn't even know that till right now. Breaking news on KBOB.
Right,
No,
I
I'm
didn't
just
know you
playing.
drink
Yeah, they drink beer.
So JB,
Oh, Angie said she gives them an F.
what?
Uh-oh.
Come on, it's a new day. Why do you give them an F? Uncle Brian said a C.
A C.
But improving.
But it's improving.
Uncle
Oh,
Bobby
Uncle
at
Bobby
KBOB.
said a F?
A F?
Wow.
Ooh, it's
Oh,
an
he
F.
said a
JB,
Dang,
come
that's
on, man.
tough.
What you giving them?
I said
The
B
question
minus.
is this. Are the black churches in our community, African American community, still doing a good job now or not? Give them a grade and why?
I'm gonna give them a B minus.
But you going with Damali, B
And
minus.
I'm gonna go B minus and say yes. Just some lost in transition. You know what I'm saying? And you got the pandemic. All of that was a factor. It changed the way you play. It changed the way you play church. Play the game. You know, like they were saying, some people comfortable with staying home now and watching that video versus getting up, going to church. But I mean, it's
You
a
know
tough,
what, and I'm
it's a
not
tough
gonna
deal.
lie,
It's gonna be
though.
good to bring some. We're gonna get some pastors in here.
Yeah.
You know, so they can, so they can kind of, because it could be something going on in that world that maybe we don't completely understand. Because like Uncle Bobby says, 250 churches in our community, but we lack so much, like some of the basic things that it seemed like we should have. We don't have. So my
And I
grade.
think even getting to finding out, should the responsibility be shifted to the church for the lack in our community? You know what I'm saying? I think that's a great question. So
Okay.
I mean, write that down.
I'll
Knock on them
go.
ass.
I'll say my grade that I'm gonna give. I'm gonna give a C plus. I'm gonna do a C plus, and my C plus is because I think that if we can find a way to develop churches and a lot of that stuff, why don't we not find a way or a role to get with the city so that we can do some development for other things that we need, not just find a way to get development for the building fund and all of that. So anyway, we're gonna switch gears on that, y'all. We appreciate y'all because we got to try to get up out of here. We've been rolling, but we love the churches, y'all.
Yes, we do.
We give
God bless all of you.
Yes.
God bless everybody, and pray for us.
All right. Well, it's time for our Hump Day Hot Topic.
Oh my God. Speed.
The all new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics with Charles and Damali.
Hey, guess what day it is? Hump Day! Hump Day! It's Hump Day!
Hey, Mike.
Guess what day it is?
It's the Hump Day Hot Topics on news you can use.
Mike.
Man, quick shout out to Keith. Welcome to the show. Ronald Goodwin, welcome to the show. Angie said she had several reasons.
Uh-oh.
She gonna have that.
Angie,
It's
we're going to
new
do a
day.
show, and we want you to come in and sit on the panel.
We'll sit and we'll talk
Yes.
about it. All right,
All
Hump Day
right,
Hot Topic.
Hot Topics. So, did you guys know that Georgia, our great old state of Georgia had its first day of early voting, and it broke a record with massive turnout. Over 300,000 ballots
They
were
pulling up.
cast.
They pulling up for the vote.
They were not playing the game. Look, listen. In the first from the time the polls opened till 10:30, 71,000 people had voted.
Boy, that's
They not
getting it.
playing the game. They're not playing the game.
So here's the ticket. Shout out, big thank you to getting out to vote. Because, we criticize when people don't get out.
Yeah.
But Georgia, hey, everybody else needs to play
They
follow the
did that.
leader.
Yeah.
Everybody
They
else
did
get on board because Georgia done did that,
That's a
JB.
heck of a statement.
That's
to
a
make.
kickoff.
Yeah. So, like you said, just kudos to Georgia, and we need to follow suit.
Just like that.
And we'll talk about early voting a little bit later. So, hot topic number 2. I don't know what's going on with presidential candidate Donald Trump. And apparently people are concerned.
Yeah.
So I think that one of the things that, when it was Biden and Trump together,
Right.
Biden's seemed so off base
Right.
that Trump looked good.
Yeah.
But now that it's Vice President Kamala Harris and, former President Donald Trump is looking a little off base.
He looking, yeah. He
just had on Monday night, he had a rally in Pennsylvania. It was a town hall. And they're saying that, first of all, people are falling out because it's hot in the town hall.
How
They
you
didn't
gonna have a
turn on no
campaign
air.
that's burning up hot?
Yeah.
They won't turn the air on.
They
They're trying
didn't
to save
turn the
money.
air on. Yeah, they trying to save money, so they didn't turn the air on. Then all of a sudden he just stops and says, "Hey, go ahead and play that music." And he starts playing, like this orchestra music and just playing this bizarre music.
He had a dream of becoming a DJ and said,
Oh,
"Let's
no.
do it right now."
It was weird. Have you seen it, JB?
Have you seen the video?
About 22, 29 minutes of dancing.
Right, 29 minutes. He just
I
kinda
was
standing
like,
there.
what?
He was diddy bopping.
Did
Right.
he not want to answer the questions? Would he just
yeah.
be incoherent?
You
it
know
was
what?
So weird to
if
me,
that
man.
had happened to Joe Biden, they would have said he was
It would be
crazy.
He was
over.
crazy. Yeah. And they would be asking, just
But
like they did.
But Trump done waited till the 11th hour. They can't switch.
Right.
They saw Biden did that Kamala way yet. You got
Right,
next.
yeah,
But
right.
Trump, you ain't got time to do nothing. You got to ride this for these
You're going to
weeks.
see some antics
That was
happen over
weird,
these next
man.
couple weeks that you're not going to
That was
believe.
weird.
To
Did y'all
be
see
real,
it?
I
Yeah.
saw it.
but believe it, they're real.
Yeah.
Hey, on the live, did y'all see it? Let me tell y'all something right now. If you didn't go, this is the time to Google. We don't want you to Google for the Black History Trivia question, but Google Trump just dancing on stage for like 30 people is passing out and he playing music and dancing and just it was so weird.
He was
man.
stinky legging too.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. I found an article that said Trump's bizarre music session reignites questions about his mental acuity.
I totally agree. That was
Yeah.
so weird. I'm just calling the spade. When Biden did it, I said the same thing. I was like, but what is this? What is this? Talking about the golf cart and hitting it. I thought that was weird. But
Yeah.
this right here,
Yeah,
it takes the cake.
So the second headline, the subheadline says, with President Joe Biden out of the race, Democrats have started to questioning the mental fitness of Trump, who will be the oldest president in history if he wins in November.
And let me tell you, whoever you're gonna vote for,
Yeah.
just go watch the video.
Yeah.
And you you tell us what you think about it.
Yeah.
But that was like one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you on that. That's a
Yeah.
hot topic. Y'all go check
So
it out.
yeah, go check that out.
Jerry Byers, welcome to the show. Michael Brewer said, I don't know if anyone got a letter in the mail, but I got one saying my polling place has changed. So everyone, make sure your polling place has not changed.
Michael, thank you for
Thanks,
that, and
Mike.
I'm glad you shared that with us because we've been saying this for weeks now, that they are changing polling places.
You gotta be on top
and
of
so
it.
you got to know. So go to the Tulsa County Election Board's website to look up your polling place to make sure that you are going to the right place instead of showing up there and then they're like, no, you're not on our roll, so you can't vote. That is another ploy that's happening so that people can't vote,
All right, let's get to our Black History Trivia question. David Householder, welcome to the show.
Hey, David, how are you? Okay, so we're ready for the Black History Trivia?
We are.
All right, here we go. Black History Trivia. The question is, who was the first African American elected to the U.S. Senate? Was it A, Barack Obama? Was it B, Edward Brooke? Was it C, Robert C. Weaver? Or was it D, Blanche Bruce? Now, JB said A. Uncle Brian said B. Charles and AJ said C. Michael and Jeremiah said D. Uncle Bobby, what'd you say? Uncle Bobby said C.
C. Robert Weaver.
All right. Well, if you said B, you would be correct.
Some water.
Edward Brooks III was an American lawyer and politician who represented Massachusetts in the United States Senate from 1967 to 1979. As a member of the Republican Party, he was the first African American elected to the U.S. Senate by popular vote.
Patricia Griffin, she got in right in the nick of time. She
And
said B.
B.
So congratulations to you. Quick shout out to Junebug.
Hey, what's
Everybody got a
happening?
cousin called Junebug. Junebug, welcome to the show.
Yes.
James Z. Moses, welcome to the show.
Hey, hey,
Doug
hey.
Craig and Corey D. Taylor.
Corey D, what's popping?
Solar Sunday every Sunday
Yes.
from 1 to 3 p.m. And I was listening to him talk politics this morning. He was driving. He was talking about, man, y'all need to engage.
Yes.
We were just talking about Trump's instability just a few seconds ago. That was our
Yeah,
hot
Corey,
topic.
you missed it.
Not your
You missed
partner.
it. Corey, we don't have to have you on the show, too. to
Yeah,
talk about
and bring
this.
him in to talk about this.
All right, upcoming events. Here we go. The 36th Street North Event Center has dates available. If you're looking for a place to hold your wedding, birthday party, banquet, repast dinner, community event, etc., give us a call at 918-200-9046 to reserve your spot. The Juice Radio Show is
Yes.
looking for students. If you have a son, daughter, niece, or nephew who is in high school and interested in journalism, have them give Trey Eaton a call at 832-286-8069 or Tilla Watson at 918-304-0639. Juice members get to talk on live radio, participate in community events, go on trips, and participate in networking opportunities. This would look great on a college application or a job resume. So, give us a call if you have a student that would be in that category.
Absolutely. The Juice, baby.
Yes. Early, and we actually took some Juice members with us to Africa, to Uganda. So
Did
they're
the best
That was pretty
job
cool right
ever.
there.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
stuff. So you, too, can go to Africa.
Yes.
But you get the part of the Juice first.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, early voting starts October 30th through November 2nd. So if you would like to vote early and beat the line, for the November 5th election, then please do so. You can go to the Tulsa County Election Board to make that happen. Daylight savings time is November the 3rd. So make sure that you put that on your calendar so that you don't fall back or spring forward, fall back
I
late,
love
whatever.
that,
Yeah.
to get that extra. Corey D said, what's up? He said,
What's
let's go.
happening?
So that means he has accepted our invite to come on the show
Okay.
to debate about these politics. And then Wilkins Raff, welcome to the show.
All right. And then don't forget the presidential election and local runoff elections in Tulsa happen on November 5th. The presidential election is happened all around the country on November the 5th. And make sure, once again, and I cannot say this enough, make sure you check your polling place. And also make sure that you are still on the rolls, because I know that Oklahoma, we did a huge purge of registered voters. And sometimes that happens because people pass away and all of that. So you need to purge those folks
Not
out.
the purge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time to just check all those things right now. We're gonna have the local candidates here next week. So
Yeah.
we'll have Commissioner Karen Keats, former, and then State Representative Monroe Nichols here on KBOB,
Yes.
World One Development News. You with Charles and Damali next week, and that'll be 2 weeks before all of this.
Yes.
So that's gonna give y'all time to get ready.
Oh, they're going to be in the studio.
Live in
They're
studio.
gonna be in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So birthdays. Let's go ahead and hit those really quick. Tomorrow, October the 18th, Shalon Youngblood.
Happy birthday! I
birthday.
just saw her
birthday,
Monday
Shalon.
night.
Yes, October the 19th, Fran Wiley Mitchell and LaSonya Wiley, cousins, and my cousin, they have a birthday.
What up, cousins? Happy birthday!
October 23rd would be Lieutenant Marcus Harper's birthday,
The
Tulsa
man,
Police
the
Department.
myth, we need some sugar bears.
Man,
Where sugar bears
sugar-
being parked at?
I don't know.
Where
You know
you
what?
at,
I'm going to
man?
call him.
Holding out. on
That
that.
chop
They could be
beef.
at Home Depot or something.
Home Depot? Well, I need to go to Home Depot. I need
For
to
real?
build a shed, a shack,
Somewhere.
or something.
Right.
Get some of that
You gotta
food,
pull
man.
up.
Yeah, we got to pull
Shout
up.
out to Drew B. Riviera. Welcome to the show. Man, there's so many people on this. Might have been our livest show of the year.
I know, right?
I'm trying to give y'all shout outs. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Share this, and make sure you support
Say share
KBOB
this, share this.
89.9 FM. Let's go.
All right,
Share
and
that,
don't
share that, share
forget.
that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't even want to think about that.
Let's
All right.
go.
And don't forget, you can hit us up on any of our social media platforms. That's 36th Street North Event Center, World One Development, EduRec Youth and Family Fun Center, Fitting Back In, Prison Reentry, and I'm forgetting one. What am I forgetting?
If you forgot, you just
36th
forgot.
Street North Event Center. And you can also hit us up on nycu.fm, where we play today's R&B and throwback hits 24/7.
JB, final thoughts. We got to get ready to go, man.
Hey, no matter where you go to church at, just keep your relationship with God solid.
Just like that. I like that, JB Smooth. Damali, your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Go and get educated about these candidates that we have, because this is very important. This is a
Yes.
pivotal year for us as far as the presidential election and as far as our mayoral race that's happening here in Tulsa.
Yeah, my thing, super shout out to Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Let's follow that
oh,
suit.
Yeah.
They broke records. Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Let's follow that suit. Remember, again, next week we're going to have our mayoral candidates here. Karen Keefe, and Monroe Nichols.
Hey, Felicia Brewer is on the line. Happy birthday, Felicia.
Happy belated birthday, Felicia.
Yes.
David, welcome to the show. We're getting ready to go, though. We're getting ready to go. And so that's my final thought. We got to get ready to get out of here. So please consider donating to Eden Media Services to help our community radio continue to stay on the air. You can send your donation made payable to Eden Media Services to 1216 North Lansing Avenue. Suite D, we moved on up, y'all. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74106. This has been News You Can Use with your host, Mr. Charles Harper, and
Miss Damali Wilson.
And we are live every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So make sure you tune in.
And if you'd like to promote or advertise your events or business on the show, make sure you inbox us on Facebook, social media at World One Development. Fitting back in, Indirect Tulsa, 36th Street North Event Center, or nycu.fm. All social medias. This has been World One Development's News You Can Use with your hosts, Charles Harper and Damali Wilson. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the host and their guests, and not necessarily to this station, organization, committee, or other groups or individuals associated with KBOB 89.9, Eden Media Services, nycu.fm, News You Can Use, and World One Development. Y'all have a great day. Don't miss next week's episode.
Yes.
Big time.
Big time.
Just weeks before the election. You're going to be right here, 1 o'clock. We'll see you then.